Hey, Adam here. I've got a new very cool feature. It's an update field action. It's very, very simple, but you can do a lot with it. So I thought I'd share a very quick video about what is just hitting the streets right now. So the type of things you can do with it is you can have a button, which is you can now click and it will set a value in one of your forms or into one of the fields. And then you can use that as a formula for layout. So I used it then to show this detail over here. And we also, you can use it for something like that, like an accordion component as well. So you can do all sorts of things. So you'll be able to create radar buttons. You can use it in your onboarding flows, the next button, and so on. One of the cool things you can do as well, I've set this hide button to actually hide it, but it'll also navigate to the next screen. So it's going to go to the next screen, which in this example over here is Add Technician. I'll close that down and you can now see that it's set to hide mode. One of the cool ways that I did this as well is I actually used an input form, which is like a context that you can use as a variable on your page. And in this example, I never ever submitted. So you can use it to store temporary values while the user's entering things just for UI. So let's have a look at what I did behind the scenes. So let's have a look over here. So here's my form. So the first thing I did was I created a new data table or micro app called a form, and I added two variables into it. One of them was show options, and it was just a text field, and the other is show accordion, which is a toggle, which is basically a Boolean true false. And I used that for the accordion show hide. Let's first have a look at this. So you can determine any element on the screen and you can turn that into an action. So let's have a look at the structure of what we've got. We'll just move me over to that side. So we've got the form over here, which is basically dealing with the micro app or the data table called landing. And again, I've just got those two variables that I only use for temporary purposes, for context, that I store in there. Then I've got some rules over here, which are layouts, which do things like hide when show options equals show me. So the way that I set the value of show options, which is a field in our landing form over here, show options, the way I set that to show me is through this new action that we've got. So let's have a look at this. So this is the button action over here. So it's a new action type of update field. Now you can do this in your real data that gets saved, either in insert mode before you submit, or actually if you wanted to save that data. Now you could use this for things like, if you had let's say a variable where you wanted to allow people to, let's say, hit plus and minus and increment by 1 or 5 or 10 and so on. So kind of like I've forgotten what that control is called, but it's like sort of a slider concept. And it's actually changing the value of the field, or you click something and it changes it. Again, in your things like an onboarding multi-form process, you could save things like the current screen. Now remember, you get 2 options or 3 options. So you can save it in, if you're about to submit it, you can save it into the current variable. So when you submit it, then it gets submitted with that value into the back end. You could do an edit, which is you saving the live data, or you could save it into, like we've done over here, a temporary form. So we've got a temporary form of value, which saves this over here, the update field, and then we've got show me. Now, you can decide to do something and then navigate. So if you wanted to, let's say, click next in a onboarding flow as an example, or a multi-page form, you could then save a value when you've clicked the next button and then jump to the next screen, and you could use that value. That might be nice if you want to build something like a resume flow. So you want to remember where you are in that multi-page form so you can start next time at that point. So in this example, we just set the value to show me, and then the hide screen, it just set that same value of show option, so it's editing the same field in the landing data table or micro app, setting that show options field to hide me. So now that will then, when we've got these layouts, that will then fire the show or the hide display formula, which then shows that entire form. So this over here shows the landing form. So that shows when selected. So that says when show options equals show me. And this one over here says when it's not equal to hide when show options equals show me. So that deals with the false. So just simplified the way we wrote that formula. Obviously, you can write any formula. You can just using JSON, so you can put functions in here and do all sorts of crazy stuff. So let's have a look at. Then we've got the accordion, and the accordion uses a very similar thing. So it's got when you click this accordion, it's going to it's got a layout, but the accordion click action is tied to this element over here. So when you click that, it's going to have an action, which is update field, and it's going to change a different variable, which is the show accordion, to true. Remember that was a toggle, so it's either true or false. And then we've got show the full accordion, and again, that has a hide formula over here, and it's looking at, if that's a truthy value, then it's going to show that accordion. And then similarly to collapse it over here, so if we look at the collapsed, where did I put that? Did I put that? I must have put it over here. Sorry, that was actually a mistake. I should have put it on the, actually no, I did it just on the title there. So if you click that, that then shows you, that then runs this action, which again is an update field. Again, we're using that temporary state, which is really, really useful, which then you can toggle that value to false, which will compress it. So again, let's just have a look at that in action. So remember, this is the first show one, which sets it and shows that whole layout, which has this text plus the accordion. And then the accordion, it's setting that second value over here. So we can toggle that. And again, the hide one, if you remember, hides it, and it navigates to the next four. So again, it didn't really make sense in the exact example, but I wanted to show you that you can do something, you can change the value of something and navigate somewhere, which is really useful if you're building something like a wizard or a multi-page form. Cool. So that's the new update field action. Really interested to find out how you use it. If you've got any more ideas of how we can extend it, we will be adding things like multiple actions down the road, but for now, that's pretty powerful what you can do with it today. Thanks for watching.